guys, and welcome to my take on that. Today we're going to talk about two movies and a book. I could have sworn that I've watched three movies, and I was going to talk about those three movies, but one of them has completely whoosh gone from my head, and I really cannot remember it. I know the last movie I saw at the cinema was Pixels, but I'm pretty sure I already did that movie, so can't do that again. Now, also, in the last one that we did, I put some trailers in, and I got copyright pinged for it. I'm kind of apprehensive about disputing copyright pings, especially when I'm not completely up to scratch on fair use. I'm pretty sure what I was doing was fair use because I was using the trailers to put forward movie reviews, but the other ones didn't get pinged, but this time round, yeah, I got pinged. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put trailers in this time, guys. Maybe I will, and maybe I won't. I haven't thought about it too much. I will say this. You, Sony Pictures, are a bunch of drongos. I'm doing my best to promote your good shows on my channel and tell everyone what wonderful movies they were, and you go and do a bullshit thing like ping me for copyright when I don't make any money on my channel anyway. But you go ahead and copyright ping me anyway. That's a low dog thing to do, and I wish to God you wouldn't do it. It's hilarious that you won't be earning money out of me. But that being said, fuck you for doing that. That's not nice at all, okay? I want you to just cut it out and stop copyright pinging me, because I'm trying to do a job here. Yeah. I should mention that all of that was in jest and in no way meant for reals, so you should just take a chill pill. Now, how about we get on with some actual movie reviews here? Got my hands on a couple of movies for home viewing. That is to say, I rented them, and I wasn't displeased with the money spent. It was really money well spent. I managed to miss a few movies at the cinema. One of those movies was the movie I'm about to talk about, which is The Edge of Tomorrow, or some people call it Live, Die, Repeat, because those words are firmly on the poster and it makes it confusing. Is that the name, or is Edge of Tomorrow the name? It's Edge of Tomorrow, and I'll say right off the bat, quite frankly, I would consider that movie to be one of the best, if not the best, Tom Cruise movie I have seen to date. It is done really well. I had preconceptions going into watching it, and those were completely blown out of the window right from the get-go, and it was really, really well worth watching. The visuals in it were a feast for the eyes. I'm not going to get too technical. I'll leave that to others. If you want really technical reviews and stuff, maybe you should go to Collider Videos and sub up with me and we can enjoy it together. But from my layman's perspective, I sat there thoroughly thrilled as I watched the movie the whole way through. There were twists and turns along the way, and a little bit of humour thrown in as well. And yeah, just an all-round solid movie. Not so much so that it's going to get past the benchmark of 7 out of 10. Definitely a 7 out of 10 movie. I do recommend watching it more than once if you can afford to do so. Otherwise, definitely see it once. And I can tell you now, if I got a chance to watch this movie at the cinema, I would definitely take that opportunity up. I'd probably missed that opportunity by a long stretch by now, but if I ever was offered to go see that on the big screen, I'd definitely do it. I think it can't say for certain because I haven't seen it on the big screen, but it's got to lose something in translation. It's such a grand, big movie, epic in its scale and everything, and yeah. And the other thing is, I'm a big Games Workshop 40k fan. And to see them do that with the special effects, with them doing that with the armor and stuff, I sit here wondering to myself, why is no one developing a full motion live action movie around 40k, or even the Warhammer franchise? We saw how successful Lord of the Rings was. Do something like that for Warhammer. For God's sakes, Games Workshop, wake up to yourselves. I'd be there watching any movie put out by you guys if you just put one out. Now, that being said, we'll move on to something else. The last and final word on it is great movie, well worth seeing. And I do implore you, if you haven't seen it and you like a little bit of sci-fi and you like a little bit of Groundhog Day, get this movie. It is really, really good. Okay, story's good. Acting's okay. I mean, I don't judge movies based on the acting, really. I mean, it's Tom Cruise. He's a solid actor, really. So, the acting's good. Emily Blunt was good. See, I've got a few names going this time, don't I? Everyone was good. And who doesn't like Bill Paxton? Come on now. That guy's just amazing. I love his work. Right, that being said, guys, 7 out of 10. Moving on to the next movie. This movie, I went into it with no preconceptions. I didn't know much about it. I can't remember seeing the trailers. I knew it was going to be suspenseful, maybe a bit of a thriller, and it felt like I was on the edge of a knife the whole time. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if Oscar Isaac's character was going to be an absolute psychopath and turn on him. I didn't know if the robots were going to turn. I didn't know what was going to happen. Small spoiler, he starts cutting his arm open because he's so mind fucked at this stage that he thinks, what if I'm a robot too? And oh my god, it's just a roller coaster. My dad watched it and absolutely hated it, but I gotta say, he has similar tastes to me in some respects, but when it comes to that kind of thing, he doesn't have the patience for it. He's a grumpy old man. So he didn't like it at all. Thought it was a piece of shit. I have to disagree. That's the thing though, guys. It is all subjective. I'm telling you what I'm thinking, and on Collider they tell you what they're thinking. Rotten Tomatoes tells you what they're thinking. Everyone's telling you what they're thinking. Take it with a grain of salt and go check. I'm a firm believer in not believing what critics say. I don't care if they think the movie's poo-poo, I will still go see it. That being said, Fantastic Four is still on my to-watch list, even though everyone has said the last hour is total garbage. I will watch it and then I will review it and give you my take on it. Because at the end of the day, we all see slightly different perspective on things. So it's best to make up your own mind. That being said, I watched the movie. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a very artistic, very creative movie. I thought the story was very slow, methodically slow on purpose. And, it kept you on the edge to see, oh my god, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And, I watched that whole movie. I had no idea that was Oscar Isaac. I had no idea that was Donald Gleason until the credits rolled in. Hey, wait a second. You're both in the Force Awakens movie. I'm sure there's been another things. In fact, I know there's been another things with Donald Gleason and Harry Potter. I knew him from that, but, seeing them both in this, I can't wait to see them in Force Awakens, to be honest. I can see what they do with their characters in that, because I thoroughly enjoyed their performance. Again, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's worth seeing, and if you can afford to see it more than once, by all means, go ahead, see it more than once. Me personally, I was only interested in seeing it once. Once was enough. I can't really... Let's just say there's knives in it. And me and knives and people, and it's like, that scene in Saving Private Ryan where that German guy is slowly stabbing that American soldier to death. It doesn't get much worse for me than that. I cringe. because I can empathise, and I think to I can't help but think, how would that feel? That would be awful. So it's not quick either. It's not quick. It's slow. It's like, yuck. And then he puts me off his state. It does. Anyway, great movie. I loved it. I thought the ending was fantastic. Quite good ending. Not going to give anything away. I'm trying not to get spoilers away here. I'm not going to do trailers, guys. You've probably already guessed that because I didn't show one for the first movie. I don't want to be pinned. I just want to talk and tell you my take on the stuff, and we'll leave it at that. So yeah, so both those movies, 7 out of 10, well worth seeing at least once. Worth the money if you can get it on video. The second movie, I don't think that would have lost anything in translation. I think it's just as enjoyable to watch it on a big screen TV as it would have been to watch it in the movies. It's not the kind of movie that has flash bang sound effects or visual effects and all that to stun you. Just a nice, slow-paced thriller which puts you on the edge of your seat because you don't know where's this going, what's going to happen. Is anything on my mind? Being a red-blooded male, I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy all the female nudity in there either. That was, nice. Very, very gorgeous looking women in it too. I'm quite partial to a naked Japanese lady, but we won't go there. Anyway, that being said, guys, check them out if you will. What the hell's that flashing going on? Okay, so we're going to leave movies there because I can't remember seeing another movie. I know I did see another movie, but I can't remember what it is, so we'll just leave it with that. And we'll move on to the world of novels. Now, you may or may not be interested in Star Wars, and you may or may not, if you're into Star Wars, realise that we're now on the road to The Force Awakens. This includes the release of games such as Uprising and books, both novels like Aftermath, which I'm about halfway through now, guys. I will give a review on that when I'm finished. It hasn't got good reviews so far from a lot of people. It's sort of getting poo-pooed on like prequel style. I've got to say that I find that unwarranted at this stage. I am thoroughly enjoying the story. I don't mind the characters in it, and I'm intrigued to see how this will all fit in to the canon leading on to The Force Awakens. It looks like the day has dawned on us. Being a bit brighter now, that's pretty good. Round of applause for the sun, if you will. Yay, well done, son, come on up. Okay, so the book I have finished is one of the young adult series. It's called The Weapon of the Jedi, and basically it starts off with a pilot in The Force Awakens time, known as Blue 3. Keep an eye out for her when I actually get around to watching the movie. And she's talking to C-3PO, and he's shuffling along and telling her about the story with his little red arm floating around in the air. He hints that that's a different story and he's not going to go into it. And he proceeds to tell a story about Luke Skywalker. Now, the story, I believe, is set just after the destruction of the first Death Star. Luke Skywalker goes off, and he's charged with going on a rebel mission, but he deviates from the mission and heads back to the planet called Deveron. But Deveron, for those of you who don't know, is where the species called Deveronians come from. You'll have seen Deveronians if you've watched any of the Star Wars movies. They're the guys with the big horns on top of their head. They look like devils. Definitely in the cantina Mos Eisley you see at least one Deveronian. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, he's on the planet and he finds himself being pulled by the Force towards an old temple where he discovers some artifacts and proceeds to train in the ways of the Force with the use of some droids. You know, the droids like on the ship that boss around him, so he's practicing his lightsaber skills. I've got to tell you, I watched Empire Strikes Back today, and watching him fight Vader, it made sense for the first time, because whenever I've watched it in the past, it's like, where the hell did he get the skills? Where did he get the style and the form that he displays with the lightsaber when he's fighting Darth Vader. I mean, let's face it, his skills at that stage, you don't see him training in the ways of the Force before that, except a little bit with Yoda, and you never see him do any swordplay with Yoda. It's all PT training, physical training and stuff along them lines. Well, this makes perfect sense to me now, because it intimates that he learnt there was more to his training on the Millennium Falcon than we actually got to see in the movie. He was taught footwork and form and defensive postures and attacking postures and stuff like that, and he goes about using that in this book. It introduces you to one of the characters from Force Awakens, Sarko Plank, and that's interesting too, because you can actually Google Sarko Plank and you'll see pictures of him in The Force Awakens. He's a ruthless evil type, probably hangs out with those pirates that are probably going to be featured in The Force Awakens, if that's my guess anyway. Or maybe he has an altercation with Daisy Ridley's character Rey. Who knows? We shall find out. Anyway, of course, the story you see him... It's only a very short novel, I should say, about 101, 102 pages. So I got through it fairly quickly, and I did thoroughly enjoy it. It gave me a little bit more insight into where his force powers came from, a little bit more of his training and such, and he got some practical experience using a lightsaber against live foes. And yeah, great novel. Loved it. And spoiler alert, you might want to put your finger in using a la 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 for a few minutes if you don't want to hear anything about The Force Awakens. It's not a hardcore spoiler alert, I should say, but more what I've heard and what I think. So I'm going to give you 3 seconds and then I'm going to talk. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the Jedi Temple on Deveron that he finds himself at. He does at the end of the book vow he will return there. And a few people have mentioned, for instance, Christian Harloff on Jedi Council also said this. Hi Christian, if ever you were going to watch my show. Anyway, he intimated, and I think he's correct, that maybe Skellid Michael Eichen, or the film Island, or where all that filming's taking place over near Ireland, I'm thinking that's this Jedi Temple. I'm thinking it's actually the Jedi Temple he found in this book, and he's back there. He's either guarding the Jedi artifacts or he's cramming knowledge into his head about the Force. So, yeah, I don't know, really. Don't know. Maybe there's more tidbits to be gleaned from the Aftermath. I haven't finished that book yet. But yeah, there you go. If I was to rate the book out of 5 being excellent, and 1 being a piece of toilet paper just waiting to be used, I'd give this book I'll give it a 4. Something that's been eating at me of late with Star Wars is this. You get a lot of people, they whinge about Star Wars, this is stupid, or midichlorians are stupid, but then they don't take in the full picture. They're very permissive of things. Other things, like, I could have easily picked apart Empire Strikes Back. There are some glaring continuity errors in The Empire Strikes Back. A lot of... well, let me give you an example. It's not scientifically possible that they could fly inside a giant space slug and go outside of the ship, which is in the vacuum of space, with just a little rebreather on. The exposure to the elements would have killed them right then and there. You could argue, there was lots of oxygen inside the space slug. Well, where did the space slug get that oxygen from? Where? I mean, you're going to whinge about something being, one way, and then you can accept that. I just think it's funny how some Star Wars fans are very permissive of things that happen in the original trilogy, and then slam the prequels for the same thing. That's just my take on that, of course. But yeah, and this is the same. There's a part in it where he's flying his X-wing and he's getting Y-wing, and he's getting G-forces and he's getting spun around and he knocks his head because of the... It's like, no, none of that's in space. They touched a little bit on scientific application of space travel in one of the prequels, where the ship is approaching Coruscant, and it actually flips to meet the horizon. Actually flips and then goes in that way. That was awesome, and they did it a few other times as well. That I kind of like, but when they rush over that, and also they again avoid midichlorians like the plague. It's like, okay, well, it's kind of acceptable because Obi-Wan never really mentioned the midichlorians to Luke that we saw, and he probably hadn't even thought about midichlorians until later. So I'll give you a pass on that. But oh dear, the whole kissing your sister thing is hilarious, and there's a few other bits and pieces in there that are hilarious. But I'm not one for picking Star Wars to bits, so I'm quite happy just to let it go. I love Star Wars, I love all 6 movies, and I know I'm going to love this 7th movie, and I can't wait to watch some more Clone Wars, and I can't wait to watch some more Rebels. That being said, guys, the book gets a 4, and I'll leave it there. Definitely get your hands on it if you can. I know they say young adult, but forget that. It's just a Star Wars novel in my mind. Don't care if it's young adult or not. I've read preteen Star Wars movie books before, and some of them are actually much better than the adult fan fiction. So just give it a try. Give it a read and see what you think. I'm going to start reading some of the other ones shortly as well. There's a few of them out there. And the march towards the Force Awakens will continue for me as we go along. 2 weeks until Battlefront. Oh boy, I can't wait to get my hands on that and bring it to my channel, so keep an eye out for that. Blood Bowl's still ongoing, H1Z1's still ongoing. So for now, guys, I'm going to say that's a wrap. Oh, one thing with Edge of Tomorrow. Massive continuity error right in the beginning of the movie. I'm going to tell you about it now because it played on me and I wanted to play on you too. As soon as he gets off the helicopter in the very beginning of the movie, you'll see a guy run behind him towards a chopper to get bags and stuff off the helicopter. They cut to a different perspective, and the guy is running towards the helicopter to get the same bag. Oh, it was so funny. Just a little continuity error. If you look for them, you can find plenty of continuity errors in lots of things, but yeah, I thought it was funny. Anyway, guys, being a survival game, I'm running out of juice, so I'm going to have to go. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed my take on that. If you have some comments about what I've talked about, maybe you have your own views on those movies or that book, please share it with me. Let's get this community rolling, guys. More comments, more input, more interaction. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I like. So, with that said and done, like and subscribe as you feel fit to do. I will catch you in the next version of this show. I hope you don't mind that I didn't put trailers in, but I don't want to get copyright pinged. My property, I want it to be mine, so I don't want someone else saying you can't advertise like we're advertising. That's a bunch of bullshit. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for making me part of your day, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. That was fun. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him. See ya. Well, guys, I hope you liked my take on that. I'll be back again within a week to give you some more. Please leave comments to let me know how you think I'm going. See ya.